everyone, how you doing? It's Jordan here, back in with this week's update. All the physical releases coming to the Switch. We're in the final week of May, the 30th until June the 3rd. Remember, once we get to 100,000 subscribers, we're giving away a Nintendo Switch OLED model to one of you, so subscribe. This week's episode is sponsored by Sakuraco and Tokyo Treats. What? Remember, we showed off Sakuraco's March snack box. We showed how refined one can be with yummy traditional local Japanese snacks on a monthly snacky basis. It's May time and it's tea time with matcha and mochi with this month's Sakuraco. But we are also asked to show off Tokyo Treats, a slightly different monthly snack box with up to 20 of the latest, most exclusive, limited edition and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks. Yes, those are banana and caramel Kit Kats. We're going to dive into more detail with these just before the community spotlight, but remember the code SWITCH for 5% off your first order with the links below. Now at retail there is the magical sum of bugger all, but there is one very special release that is here to save the day, at least for North Americans. Are you ready? Equestrian Training is maybe releasing in North America this week according to Best Buy. I'm pretty sure this has been out for aeons in Europe already because we goddamn love horses more than you, but better late than never for you to kick horses in the ribs to make them jump. I hope you get to unlock increasingly brutal whips. By the time you get to the end of the game, you get some sort of like medieval mace to really make them run. And that's really it, we're going to go to the low prints. But before we do, many thanks to those who piped in on the retrospective channel that I'm planning on doing. It was pretty much 99% positive reaction, which is fantastic. I am working on it, I'm about 3/4 of the way through Suikoden. I'm about 15,000 words so far. I'm still thinking about the name, I'm thinking something a bit more general. The front runner at the minute is a bit more Jordan, because it's a bit more me, it's a bit more Jordan, and yeah, bits, you know, that's if you're 10 years in the past on YouTube, bits, a bit more Jordan. What do you think? I've already started the channel with that as a placeholder, and if you want to subscribe early, then feel free to do so with the link in the description. It might be a couple of weeks before I get everything aligned though, so just hold tight. Alright, the low prints. Gym Power The Lost Dimension is strictly limited, back at doing what they usually do, bringing old games back from the dead. I'm not entirely familiar with the Gym Power series because why would I be? It was an average Super Nintendo game, although this package doesn't seem to include the Super Nintendo version for some reason, but it does include the cancelled Mega Drive version. I don't really know how different they'll be, but it is a nice touch, and a brand new version made exclusively for this package, an NES-D make. You know, I like to dunk on Strictly Limited once in a while, but genuinely, as niche as these kind of things are, I really think this is the kind of stuff they should stick to. This is what they do best, bringing back lost games. This one doesn't particularly interest me because it looks a bit shite if I'm being honest, but I prefer them to do this than having like in-games rejects or just sloppy seconds. Stick to this. This is a good niche for you. There is a standard edition as well as a collector's edition. And yes, whoever made this trailer deserves a talking to. Why the frig would you stretch a retro game like that? It looks like you just wiped your ass with it. Slime Rancher Plortable Edition is up for pre-order at Fan Gamer. I'm not sure if this is heading to retail or not in North America, they're being rather quiet about that one, but either way, this is a fantastic port of a fantastic game. Don't let the name fool you, just because it's subtitled Plortable Edition doesn't mean it was dumbed down for the Switch, it's the proper game. And look, I haven't played it, but I've heard nothing but great things about Slime Rancher. I don't always like to go off second-hand info, but I'm pretty sure you will love this. Although, come on guys, Plortable Edition. I don't know, that's giving me like unwanted associations with Paul Blart Mall Cop. The Blotable Edition. It's just not acceptable. And our executive producers, Boombox, Punky Dooster, Viz, Issa, Cartoon Soren, and JQuad7776, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Card Shark is Special Reserves waking up from their slumber. What the frig have these guys been doing? It's been ages. Anyways, it's a Devolver Digital game that's not even out yet. It's not really a card game. It's more of an adventure game where you learn to cheat or something to that effect. It's pretty unique, I'll give it that. We'll have to see the reception to it when the digital version arrives later this week too. Apparently there's a demo to try as well. Doesn't seem like my kind of game. There's no 18th century flamethrowers or real sharks in the game because that would scientifically be better. but it looks like one of those indie darlings that will no doubt win awards for just how quirky it is. You can pre-order this on June 3rd, and our executive producers Brett McLean and Parsnip Coffee have chosen this as their pick of the week. Godstrike is the first of limited runs releases in this episode. This is a bullet hell twin stick shooter where apparently time is both your health and currency. It looks as though it's entirely a boss rush game where it's always a 1v1 against a big dude. It was positively received over on Steam, although Metacritic says otherwise, and we all know those critics know what they're talking about. I mean, there's one on there complaining that this boss rush game is a boss rush game. Imagine being annoyed at a game for having a genre. Gran Turismo had all the potential to be an all-time classic. Just a pity it's a racing game. What were those idiots thinking? Expect a balls hard time, plenty of frustration, and you're good to go. Unsighted is their second game and fared a lot better with the critics. This is an action game with lots of exploration in a top-down viewpoint. It's supposedly really good in mixing Zelda with a Souls-like if you're an unimaginative hack. There is a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, and once again, almost double the price for a soundtrack CD. I don't really know what to say about this one, but it looks pretty cool. And our executive producers, Precision Plague and Instacritic, have chosen this as their pick of the week. Yumeutsutsu Remaster and ReAfter is their third game this week, something that has surprised many people, including myself. As we all mostly know, Yumeutsutsu has been an import exclusive for many years. I reviewed this ages ago. It's a semi-popular Yuri VN double pack that's mostly known for its high cost. The price of these two is really almost insane on the eShop. It was cheaper to import them. Well, I'm almost shocked because Limited Run actually got the price down. It's $60, fair play. So if you don't already have it, it is a decent option, I would say. Alright, the imports. Remember guys, if anything takes your fancy and you'd like to import it for yourself, then consider using the links below in the description and the pinned comment. If you click those links and buy something, then it also helps support this series ever so much. You guys are just fantastic. As always, thank you ever so much. Plus, in return, you can get a very nice 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia if you use our current discount code Jordan. Yes, all 6 letters of my name, Jordan, for 5% off any physical item from PlayAsia. And remember, it is free shipping on orders over $100. Go to town. Loopers is perhaps the biggest import this week, at least if you're into visual novels. This is one of Key's newish releases, but it's the first time it's been in English, even in this Japanese physical release. It has a short runtime compared to what they often do. It's hardly Clanad or Little Busters, but you know, not everyone has 80 hours to spare. Expect a tight sci-fi plot here, and we will have a review over on VN Paradise maybe later this week or at the weekend, so be sure to subscribe there if you're not already. I'm kinda hoping this has got Bruce Willis in it because Looper was Bruce Willis's last great movie. What a movie that is. That's a fantastic sci-fi movie. Is Brucey in this? We think this is going to be a very nice import if you're a VN fan. And our executive producers, Robotech, Thorn Metal Luna, Elisa, Jennifer M, and Alexander Kato have chosen this as their pick of the week. Indigo 7 is releasing physically in Japan this week with English on the cartridge. This is a rather colourful looking indie puzzle game that has a similar art vibe and attitude as Scott Pilgrim. Seriously, obviously not as professional, but still an attempt. I've said this a lot before, but I've literally no idea what's going on in terms of the gameplay, but who doesn't like a decent puzzle game? This has a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which includes a soundtrack CD, among some other smaller stuff. Final Vendetta may be releasing in Asia this week. I am doubtful, but it could be happening. This is getting a Western release, retail in Europe, limited run in North America. The quintessential quintuplets, the movie, the video game VN, is releasing in Japan, but there's no English on that. Now, I would like to give you a heads up on some new announcements for new import goodness, so you can get your pre-orders in if you feel like it to get that magical $100 free shipping. So just remember, these are not releasing this week. This is just some new announcements that you may want to pre-order and support us. River City Saga 3 Kingdoms is getting an Asian English release in July, and I am hyped as hell about it. I absolutely love Three Kingdoms stuff. It's pretty much why I ended up moving to China, so yeah, I'm all about this one. A beat 'em up with Kunio-kun, with Liu Bei, Guan Yu, Zhang Fei. I'll take that any day of the week. Now, due to history, I would not be surprised if Limited Run planted their banner on this one for North America, but screw that, obviously. If you want to pre-order this Asian release, you can get a soundtrack CD, apparently, for free. Limited Run, for free, not $30 extra. Needy Girl Overdose got announced as an import hitting stores in Japan in October with English. This is a weird looking game, hard to know exactly what's going on, but it looks to be an adventure style game where you tend to the needs of an online personality or something. Having had my fair share of experience with needy girls over the years, I think I've got what it takes to handle this. That's a joke. I will never understand women. The English localization is actually called Needy Streamer Overload, if you're a bit confused like I was for like 30 seconds. This looks pretty sweet actually, maybe a Japanese take on that other game I can't remember the name of, like it's a early 90s web browser kind of weirdness. My brain is not working currently. Idol Manager is a similar kind of game, I would imagine. Well, actually, this looks like a Fallout Shelter, but with anime babes. Win-win-win. You take control of a talent agency. Think about gossip magazines, superfans, rival idol groups. This is culture I'm already immensely immersed in, as you can all imagine. It's supposedly a very addictive game where you probably end up neglecting your own personal needs before the games. Just make sure you have snacks and a piss bottle just within arm's reach before you sit down to play. It's better safe than sorry. Too many times playing Football Manager, I came very, very close during my uni days. Ho-ho. And last week as well. That was close too. This is hitting Japanese stores in August. Alright, the last week of taking a look at this deep dive of both Tokyo Treat and Sakuraco, one thing that was spared from the lost footage of Tokyo Treat was this ramen, or according to the helpful guide, Maro-chan Red Kitsune Udon, which is a fancy word for a pot noodle, I think. Of course, that is a joke. The book actually gives some fascinating insight into the history of many of the snacks and things found within the box, so it's worth a read even if you're only here to stuff your face like myself. This is a popular instant noodle and contains an Asian favorite, tofu, double deep fried at that. This book even includes instructions on how to prepare such a delicate recipe. But as a pot noodle expert during my university days and most of my adult life, you don't need to tell me how to add water. We're gonna let this simmer for a bit while we take a look at some other stuff. The Sakuraco, the box that also comes with some water-aided materials. It wouldn't be tea month without, yeah, good old brew. Sakuraco Sencha, yes, fusing cherry blossom with tea sounds good to me, and it is pretty nice. The booklet also gives advice on how to get different strengths of flavoring with different temperatures if you've got a thermometer on hand. I do, but that thermometer has been places that I don't want anywhere near my tea, thank you very much. Now, last week I told you I wish I could have shown you my daughter hogging the Pringles from the Tokyo Treat. Well, in the Sakuraco box there was something rather similar, something slightly more traditional than Pringles. These salad arare, baked rice pretty much with a rich and salty umami flavor. Sadly, I can't verify that as someone wouldn't let me near them. Yeah, she wolfed these bad boys down. Okay, let's head back to see if those noodles are done. Left it 3 minutes, nicely steamed. But how does one eat noodles? It would be nice to have some chopsticks laying around. Well, luckily for me, I live in China, so I have about 40 pairs in the drawer. But if I didn't, like every Sakuraco box, it comes with a piece of kitchenware, and this month's kitchenware, luckily enough, is a pair of chopsticks. What a nice coincidence. Now, I'm not an expert on chopstick quality, but I asked my wife, and she thought they were pretty good, nice quality. Even my mother-in-law, she gave the thumbs up to it, and she hates everything. These come with extra rimmed grippage to help those not entirely familiar with these utensils. Perfect for wolfing down the ramen, which is rather nice. I can't claim I've had this flavor before, and I guess it will be a nice introduction for you Westerners to enjoy the glory that is fried tofu. I don't know, is tofu big over there? I've been away too long, I have no idea. And that's my deep dive into Tokyo Treat and Sakuraco for May. If you want to try yourself and you want to support SwitchWatch at the same time, then your order with the link below in the description can help us out. And you can also get 5% off your first order with the code SWITCH. Thanks to Sakuraco and Tokyo Treat for sponsoring May's episodes of the Let's Get Physical series, and thanks for your support in purchasing them with our affiliate links. Thanks ever so much. Before we get into the community spotlight, I have this to show off to you. Someone sent this to me. I don't know if it was Pixel Heart or just for games, but they did, and this is Ganryu 2. Now what's interesting about this is the box art, because actually I had no idea there were variations. If you look on Pixel Heart's website, they have one, but this here is actually the retail release. I think this looks properly badass. That is some absolutely epic box art. The game itself, well, I haven't played it, but I've heard there's a good game under there somewhere, and there are patches on the way, or maybe they're already out by now, fixing some of the launch issues that it had. This game is a sequel to a Neo Geo arcade game from Visco, so it's obviously very arcadey in nature, something which Pixel Heart tend to do very well with. Grounded, pick up and play titles tend to be gimmick free, which is what I like. If you want this version, head over to Amazon, you can probably grab it there, or if you want the alternative version, then head over to pixelheart.eu. Alright, your spotlight. Alan sent in this picture featuring the excellent Death's Door, really great game that. If I had to be honest, I think this deserves a wider release rather than just special reserve, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did so eventually like a few of their others have. Burai Murian was one to pick up Token Rambo Warriors, sadly no physical release in Europe. Interesting to see they didn't even bother making a proper westernized logo for it. I think this wasn't the most supported release of theirs, they probably just did it because they could, or maybe contractual obligations. Choco Loco James picked up the Pac-Man Museum Plus physical, which is surprisingly cheap. I know it's just Pac-Man, but usually companies, for example Taito, this would be like full fat $60, but no, this is like $20 or something, very reasonable. Executive producer God of Risen picked up these fine games, thanks ever so much for your support, some all-time classic imports, as I'm sure you're all aware, but the bottom left has Big Pharma, which is only available in Europe and tends to go for quite a cheap price. Executive producer Grantsert got in the AVGN 1 or 2 double pack. I'd have definitely picked this up if it was more widely available. I was a big fan of AVGN and I respect what James has done over the years. It's quite an inspiration to me. Hudo got in the Gal Gun trilogy in this Horny Trinity edition, a very, shall we say, special package on the Nintendo Switch. Executive producer Instacritic sent in these pickups, 2 variations of Cotton Fantasy, one the retail release and one from Strictly Limited's partner store. JP got in these, Blacksmith of the Sand Kingdom from Limited Run. Actually looks alright for a Kemco game. Less said about the Axiom Verge cover, the better though. Matthew Dill sent in these games, many of which are European exclusives, which he picked up on a trip. He was inspired by our video series on European exclusives. Go watch those. Metric Magic sent in these 5 releases. Wargroove, a golden oldie, a very good strategy game if you're eagerly awaiting Advance Wars. Executive producer Precision Play sent in this photo showing off the super obscure Soccer Tactics and Glory, which oddly seems to be less rare in North America than in Europe. I've rarely seen the European version. Maybe it was only mainland Europe, I'm not sure. Retro Life Graphics sent in this photo with a big Kirby box. I don't actually know what that is, but I want it. They also got in a couple of imports with Fatal Frame and Blaster Master. Excellent. Executive producer Robotech sent in these games, most from Play Asia I would guess. Thanks for using our links, very much appreciated. Let's Sing Queen is a super duper obscure release. You're definitely the champion if you got that in your collection. Executive producer, our man in Japan Vei, got in these games, early release of Yuro Kill. I said that weirdly, I don't know why. Looks like it came with a soundtrack as well, probably for free, limited run maybe. Plus Townsman, so surprised that's an import exclusive. Yusha picked up these games, nice to see the Grandia collection there. I might put Grandia, the series, on the list of games to do with a bit more Jordan. I only have super vague memories about it, but maybe they'll come flooding back to me if I play Grandia 2 again. Alright, let's have a roundup. Golbat Lover! Dankzilla, Ashura G, Mickey McFlynn, Vast Neon, Shlomo, Garzilla, Kraid, Needless Dragon, Panzer Thief Zero, Craig Morgan, Etienne, Chewit, William Hutchins. Alright, please send me pictures on Twitter at SoWhatAboutGame. You can DM me or tag me in a post and use the hashtag Let's Get Physical. Do both, tag me and the hashtag, okay? And there's an email address, switchwatchspotlight@gmail.com. And our Discord, the server link is in the description, and you can submit your pictures there in the submissions section. Who'd have thought that? Please send me one picture per week. And I'd just like to give another shout out to another donator out there. Very surprising, I didn't expect anything like this, but thank you ever so much to Censor This for your donation. No, I will not censor you, I won't censor anyone. Special thanks to our executive producers, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Jonathan Rumor, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Elisa, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, Parsnip Coffee, Isa, Vey, Mental Traveler, Grantsert, Viz, Jennifer M, Instacritic, and Precision Plague. Plus you, yeah, you watching right now. If you watched all the way through, thank you, you're a legend. If you did watch all the way through, leave me a shark emoji, if there is one. A card shark emoji in honor of Card Shark. Okay. Please check out some of our other stuff. Please check out A Bit More Jordan. There's nothing on there, but you can subscribe in advance of the video going up in a week or two, probably 2 weeks, because, yeah, it's going to be big ass retro analysis, and yeah, it's going to be big. It's going to be huge. And, yeah, go check out some of our other stuff. We've got a lot of stuff out there.